Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we got a big show for you today. We got big shows for you the next couple of days, actually. So Thursday's show today, we're gonna get joined by Schlegs here in a little bit. He's running around. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. I never know what he's doing back there. He might be training, for his security detail coming up this Saturday. From what I heard, it could be a pretty big deal for him. They may be summoning him back to the sidelines. Who knows what that all could be and what that's going to look like. But, for feats of strength, agility, power, all those things are coming into play. All those things which he's uniquely qualified. Maybe not the best open field tackler around, but there are some things that our guy Schlegs can get done out there and can get done in a pretty impressive big way. So we'll see what all he has to offer and what's going to be coming down the pike with him. That'll probably be a little later in the show. But tomorrow, we got ourselves a big guest. And good dude, friend of mine, former quarterback at the University of Texas, former quarterback of the Cleveland Browns as well. So Colt McCoy is going to be joining us tomorrow. So very excited to see Colt come in. He's going to be joining us. We're going to be doing the show a little bit earlier tomorrow around 11 because I've got some XM stuff going on at noon. So Colt's going to be joining us at about 11:15. So very, very excited about that for him to be on there with us. Unfortunately, today, Thursday, Ben Scott Stevens will not be joining us. He is moving cross country, if you will. And I told him last week he was ambitious, thought he would have time to be able to get on here. I go, buddy, you're getting married. You're moving across literally from like Jersey, New York, all the way to California. And I'm like, dude, it's not gonna fly. And he told me yesterday, he's like, it's a little hectic. Don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. I said, hey man, appreciate you. You give us all the betting news, nuggets, and insight. So you know what? We'll just push that on back, and we'll have you next week. So that's kind of what the schedule is going to be like here for day tomorrow. So very excited though with Colt McCoy joining the program as well. I saw this on Get Up, my man Hembo always has his sneaky Hembo time, and we'll bring this up with him because I don't even know if he'll know the answer. But Texas has had some great players throughout history. You look at Ricky Williams, you look at Vince Young, you look at Earl the Pearl Campbell, and there's been one player in the history of Texas that has been invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony twice. I'll let you think about that for a second and marinate on who that could be. And then you're probably thinking, well, he's leaving that off because that's the guy he's having on. But Colt McCoy, I believe in 2008 and 2009 was him. So he's got some unique knowledge about this game. Now, his first game against Ohio State as a starter, he was starting at home. And so we can talk about what that's like being the starter at home versus starting an early game on the road, a big game, and how that differs. He had the crowd behind him. Julian Sain's going to have the crowd behind him. And so it's going to be quiet on offense, loud on defense. And so that's going to be a big, big part of it. So excited to have him on tomorrow as well. Maybe even throw some Browns questions in for him, since he started his career in Cleveland and bounced around, played a number of years, very successful. And he's really, really a great guy, like one of the good guys that you're going to find. And when I asked him to come on, he would, oh, absolutely, thrilled. Sure. What time, buddy? How are we going to do this? He's got 4 kids too. So he's a busy guy as well, but excited for him to be on. And unfortunately, he's not going to be at the game. So I was hoping to catch up with him this weekend, but he'll do a little preview. I love it, Joe, in the chat, Hatless Bob and No Schlegs. Schlegs is going to be joining us, I think, maybe, who knows, at some point in time in the future of the show. But until then, you're going to have me, and I've got a list of topics and some things that I want to get down. But if there's any questions that you want to get out there, things you want to have answered, don't be afraid to throw them in the chat. And showing off the mane, listen, I've been working hard. I've been trying to maintain my hair for a while. Schlegs and I use the Spartan shampoo. We're trying to get a deal with it. I was an early adopter. When I first bought it, I was actually in Cleveland, Ohio on my way to the Texas game. So that's why I was like, when did I start using it? I said about at the end of the season. So it's been about 6 months. So you gotta wait for the results to ultimately get them there. And I think that we might be there ultimately with this, as I just broke my pen somehow. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Buckeyes. But big show for you today. One of the things that came out, and I don't think Schlegs and I have touched on this yet. I want to lead with this. They had the mock game on Saturday. And looking at that, like, why is that important? We talked about guys. They even walked through, like, literally the walkthrough of singing Carmen, Ohio at the end. That's how much you got to get through, because you have all these guys now who have gotten to Ohio State, who've come here by various means. And not that they get a ton of transfers, and Texas doesn't get a ton of transfers either. That's not how these programs really operate. But they have new guys. And so you want to make sure. So they walk through everything. And Ryan Day is relentless prepare. They walk through everything from warm-ups, stretching, locker room times. As Schlegs was talking yesterday, when you leave, heck, they even work on singing Carmen, Ohio. But we talked about a little bit yesterday working through the logistics for coaches, the communication on the sideline, what that ultimately looks like. And for coaches, that communication element of who's seeing what, and we talked. And so Heartline, and I don't think we got to this yesterday, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, but Heartline is going to be in the box. And so I think this is the first time since he's been at Ohio State, he's going to be up in the box. And I think that's fairly substantial news of understanding how that's going to work. They also have brought in Boyer, who was in New England, Muskingum grad, coached up there with Matty P. He was most recently the defensive coach of the Dolphins. And I think he's going to be kind of working on both sides of the ball, what he sees and understanding what's going on coverage-wise, front-wise, what the offense is doing, what their defense is doing, and giving all that to Ryan, giving all that to Brian, giving all that to Pat. But having Hart upstairs, that changes the dynamic a little bit, because him being the receivers coach for a long time, you communicate with your receivers on the sideline. You can walk them through their routes. You can talk to them about everything that's going on. Well, now he's up there. And it's good. A lot of guys calling plays like to be in the box. Chip Kelly was in the box. Now, Ryan is a head coach. Usually the head coach is always on the sideline. We'll get to a unique situation where that's not going to happen coming up. But head coach on the sideline, they call plays, but they're getting a lot of intel from the box. And what is different? I mean, anybody who's played a lot of these video games, NCAA, playing Madden, like, you get a top view look from behind the quarterback of what's going on. A lot of times these coaches, when you're on the sideline, you're looking at this thing from ground level. And so I try to equate it like this. It's the equivalent of sitting on an interstate and not knowing where the traffic jam is and what's going on and why it's there, versus looking at your Waze and telling you, oh, it goes to 2 lanes ahead from 3. Oh, there's an accident here. Oh, there's a pot, whatever it is. There's a car stopped in the middle of the road, whatever it is. And whether it's 4 miles away, whether it's 400 yards away. And so that's going to impact your decision. Do I get off here? Do I not? What do I choose to do? And so with all those things, like, that's what the coaches are trying to digest. So being in the box makes that easier. So I think this will help Brian call some plays. And the other part of it is not only can you see more and understand more, but you're able to be insulated. And anybody that's ever been to a football game gets very emotional, especially on the sidelines. Hell, it gets emotional after the game, as we looked at with the Johnson family, with Avery's brother and his dad fighting outside the stadium over there in Dublin, Ireland. A lot of emotions are flying out there. And so being up in the box, it insulates you from all that. You can look at the game and see what's happening. You don't necessarily feel it as much. Now, that's good and bad, but sometimes it's important to kind of understand the feel and the momentum of everything. But what also that does is you don't feel the momentum. You don't feel the emotion of it as much. Now, that's not to say if you've ever been up in a coach's box or been on the headset, a lot of yelling back and forth. And even Ryan Day has kind of touched on and testified to how brutal it gets how brutal it gets when guys are talking back and forth. And he said, I challenged Urban a lot. Hell, he wanted to probably fire me. He wanted to be this, wanted to be that, and get after him all the time. Like, that's real. That's absolutely real. But still, when you're up there, you don't have the players coming off. You don't have the trainers around you. You don't feel the crowd. Like, they shut the windows. A lot of teams at places and suites, like you want to open the windows, especially when it's nice out, feel the environment, feel the stadium. Guys, when they call games, you want to open the windows so you can feel the emotion of the crowd and everything that's going on. But you don't necessarily want that as a coach. You want to be up there playing the video game. You want to see, this is what they ran. This is what we ran. Let's start charting it. Let's look at what they're running on third down. Let's look at what they're running in third and short. Is this what we expected? Is it not what we expected? It starts start diagramming it up. Let's start get them down there on the film so they can see it, because they might not think it may be just a tweak of what it was before. And so being in the box insulates you from all of that. So it's a Brian Hartline, who's a younger coach. I know he's been in Ohio State now for he's been the wide receivers coach since Ryan Day got there. And so he's been here the whole time, and then he got elevated to co-coordinator and everything else. But he's been on the sideline that whole time. So this will be a different paradigm for him. It's going to be a different place that he's living. And in my opinion, I think it will be easier for him. To call plays on the sideline is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult, because you're just experiencing it all. And especially on the offensive side, you can't see the coverages that are being run. You can have an idea. But I tell people, when I go to watch practice, I stand behind them. You can't stand in the end zone as a coach, because you can then see a little bit more. It's kind of that quarterback view. But that bird's eye view, when you're up in C deck, which I know people lament, you want to watch you love football and you want a great place to watch a football game, you can get 50-yard C deck tickets, man. You're in the catbird seat. You're right there below Paul Keels and Jim Lachey, sitting up there, and I'm like, boom, they're running cover two. Boom, they're running this blitz. They're running that. And you can see it before it's happening, because you can see the movement of people. You can see as a quarterback, even on the sideline, which you're looking at from the side, so you can see some of it. But as a quarterback looking dead on it, it's hard to see the depth. You might say, hey, when the safety's at 12 yards, he's always bailing. When he's at 9 yards, he's always coming down in the box. Well, it's hard to see that when they're right there to you. And so you have to give them that nugget to be able to see. Then they can start to feel it and identify it. But pulling that out of the sky is really hard. And so Hart will be able to see all of those things. He'll be able to call the plays. He'll be able to see them in real time. And hell, it's almost like you're watching it in the future, because you can see the movement happening before the play. And it's a beautiful thing if you're a football fan. But it is difficult to be able to do from the sideline. And now he's also going to be giving up something that he has done and done very well for a number of years, which is operate on the sideline, communicate with his receivers. And he's got Devin Jordan down there, who has been working with him. And how, like I said, those guys both played with me on the team of Trust. Devin's a year younger than me, and Hart's 2 years younger than him. And so they played together. They got a good feel. They've got a good understanding. But I did think that was important of note, since we were talking about all the iterations and everything that's happening in that mock game, what that looks like, what that means when you ultimately have a coach who is in the box versus a coach who is on the sideline. And so I like that. I love Hart for doing that. I think that's most coaches don't like to be in the box. There are some that do, like Jim Knowles, box coach. But there are also guys that are position coaches that they like to be down there, and they can see their guys' technique. They can see how they're playing them in a jam. They can see how they're playing when they're off. Like as the linebacker coach, you can see how the linemen are climbing, how hard you attacked. And then you can communicate with them and teach them those techniques on the sideline. Like Jim Knowles really wasn't that guy. He was a high-level defensive coordinator, not the greatest individual coach, personnel coach. But Hartline, he played the position. So showing those guys those things, he's going to rely heavily on Devin Jordan now to do that. And I think Devin was going to do a great job. But like always finding that balance. And they have more coaches now than ever before. And so you're able to have more guys in the sideline that are true coaches. You can get other guys up in the box. I mentioned they brought in Boyer to be able to do that. And he's going to be great at it. Matt Patricia says he's one of the best box guys he sees. Some people just have a knack for being able to see it and then being able to communicate it really well. And so Hart will be calling plays. So I have guys giving him input from both sides. And then obviously that communication ultimately down on the field. Going to be really, really big. So I think a huge development that it was worth talking about, because as the game rolls on, it's up to that coordinator who's charting everything. Like they got their little piece of paper and they're charting and they're charting and they're charting to understand, like, okay, I now kind of have a feel for them. And that's why it's critical for offense to stay on the field the more you see of teams, the more third down conversions you get, the more you see of their third downs. And then eventually you're like, okay, I think I've kind of run through everything. In third and short, they run this. Third and medium, they like to do this. Third and long, they're liking to do this. These are their first and second down calls. These are their, red zone calls. So the more plays you're on the field early in the game, the easier it ultimately is to figure out. So that'll be the challenge for Hart. I think he's up to it. I'm excited to see him out there. I'm excited to see him in the box. And those guys, it's its own level of panic up there. I would almost say it's like a damn safe room, like a nut house when they're up there, because it is not a big room. There's a lot of people piled in, and there's a lot of opinions flying around. And you got to remember, when the offense is coaching, or when the offense is on the field and they're coaching, running plays, the defense is over there. What did they just do? What happened? And so you're having your own conversation. And so it's a lot of input that's coming at you right then. And so that's the box sideline difference. Brian Hartline going to be in the box here for this upcoming game. And I think that's a wise move. I want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. They're getting ready for the NFL season with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If you win, it will unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You can build parlays, player props, ride the live lines, which, that's always nice and juicy. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is almost here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the FanDuel app today and get it started. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. Must be 21 or older and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus batch, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Just call 1-800-GAMBLER. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, we got some other stuff here. Ryan Day's been doing a lot of the media stuff, and he's great at it. Does a good job with everything. But wanted to look at this, two things. Number one, Ryan Day, Pat, on discipline, about what it takes to play at Ohio State, what it's all about, and his recruiting checklist, like what they're looking for in players. And this was him with Greg Olson, a.k.a. Third Leg Greg from the 7th Floor Club, I believe, in Miami. So if we could pull that up, Pat, that would be great. But in a game like this, you're looking at, like, what separates Ohio State from Texas? They're really talented. Both these programs have really good players. What type of players are you ultimately looking for? What type of players are you trying to ultimately bring in? Pat, if we could pull that up, that would be tremendous. To be able to see. It's the Ryan on discipline on the sheet. But what type of players are you trying to get? Who are you trying to bring in? Because everybody wants good players. And everybody can say, well, I like that guy. I want that guy. But what sets them apart? And how are they going to help you win in these big games? Because when talent is equated, the margins are so slim. And Urban's talked about it. Ryan Day talks about it. Everybody kind of brings it up because it's true. When talent's equated, you've got to find a way to be able to do that and set yourself apart. And so he sat down with Greg Olson, was able to talk to him. He's been doing a lot of this stuff. And hell, this was probably even before training camp that he did it. Let's let it play on his recruiting checklist.
Recruit the things that we can't measure. Like, what are those qualities that go into everything you're talking about? Championship culture, DNA, leadership, character. Who is Ohio State? Who is Ryan Day every day waking up saying, we got to find more guys like what?
The first thing is we're looking for is talent. And what is talent? Talent to me is God-given. So Jeremiah is a great example. Jeremiah is 6'3" and he's 225 pounds and he can run. And I say this all the time, like you've won the genetic lottery. Did you earn that? No. Like, for you, like how tall are you, Greg?
6'5.5".
Like I say that to recruits. Did you earn 6'5.5"? No. God gave you that. Like my son's not 6'5.5", right? Like certain things. So God's given everybody a certain amount of talent. And we look for guys who are talented. There's no question about that. But then there's the other part of it. And the other part is what we control. And that's our discipline and our skill. And discipline to me is everything that God didn't give you. Your work ethic. Like nobody, I say this to my son all the time, is anybody stopping you from being the hardest working guy in the entire country? No, you decide that.
The full conversation is.
It's amazing to hear that because it really sets it apart. And it's one of the great things. Discipline is everything God didn't give you. Gave you some height, gave you some speed, gave you some athleticism. Obviously, you can't do anything to improve your height, but your skill is that talent that's developed. You may be fast, but are you a good receiver? Like you're athletic and physically gifted, but how skilled are you? The skill is the traits that you've been honing. And so in games like this, you're going to see elite players on both sides. How are they going to be able to separate? What is the difference that changes someone from being good to someone to being great, being elite, being able to go make the play versus not making the play? Usually it's not something that's God-given with you. It's something that is inside of you. It's something that is extracted from you through the process. And that process at Ohio State, they lean in on in a big, big way. And you've heard Schlegs and I talk about this. Toughness isn't coached in November. It's revealed. Like it's not coached on August 30th. The game this Saturday, talk about being tough all you want on Saturday. What did you do all this time leading up? And so you have a program in Texas that's really hungry. They haven't won a national title. All right, Sark, they've been to they've been in the playoff twice, but they haven't. And they got to the Final Four twice. They started it 2 years ago. Last year, they earned their way to it. But there's some desire to finish the job. Last year, that Ohio State Buckeyes team had a huge desire to finish the job. And so we talked all year about how those guys relentlessly worked and they had skill. And listen, were they deserving of it? Sure. But deserving doesn't get you anything. Okay? Deserving has nothing to do with it. You've got to go out there and make the plays, and you've got to go out there and earn it. And that's what they were able to do. And so that's where that discipline piece comes in. And that's what Ryan has done such a good job of being able to develop those guys. And so he talked about J.J. Smith. Like, dude, he made you what you are, made you the frame. He gave you the template. Now, what do you do with the rest of it? Discipline is what God didn't give you. And so this is J.J. Smith, Jeremiah Smith, on why he fell in love with the program.
Get you out the South, man. You up there at Ohio State, it's cold up there, man. How it get you a South Florida boy to come all the way up to Columbus and deal with that cold weather, man?
I don't know. I feel like when I first came up here for a visit, I feel like this was home for me. I fell in love with the program, day one. Like Coach Hartline, Coach Day, like they always supported me and always call and check on me. My dad loved it up here. My whole family loved it. My uncle, everybody. So just the right place for me. And I wanted to get out of the state of Florida as well because there's too many distractions down there. So I just want to go somewhere where I just focus on ball and school.
You made the NCAA cover. You're the best player in college football. You're up for the Heisman, defending national champion. What has it been like, all this attention and outside noise, man? How you been handling it?
I've been handling it very well. I come from humble beginnings. I don't let all that stuff get to my head. I just focus on the main thing, that's football and the team. So I don't let all the awards I'm up for and all the hype around my name. I just want to focus on the team and focus on ball.
And so that was JJ with Mark Ingram. And you hear a guy wants to focus on ball. Don't want to worry about the distractions. That's in alignment with what Ohio State was talking about with Ryan and discipline and the carrying, the communication, all of those things that ultimately happen. That's how you're able to get a player like that to commit to you when you commit to him that we're going to make you the best you can be. Discipline is what God didn't give you. how to be able to get better. And so why did you come up here? To avoid the distractions? No nonsense, get after it, work, just shut up and work. And that's what it's all about. And it's been amazing to see. And he's embodied that. And what's even more impressive is within his receiver room, a guy who I think is going to be a very key figure on Saturday is Brandon Ennis. And when you have a guy who works like Jeremiah, and even as a sophomore, obviously not a great player, then you have Brandon Ennis, who hasn't really played at all, also a Florida guy coming up here, sat for 2 years, and elected captain before he's ever started a game. And so that's what the culture is. And so when you come to these moments and you look at some of the plays that Brandon's made, catching the ball, blocking, just passion for the game, I think he's going to be a difference maker against Texas, because everybody's going to be focusing on the Jeremiah Smiths, the Carnell Tates. They're going to be trying to get pressure. The slot, I think the inside is really where you can make some hay. And they're going to challenge him on the outside. And they'll move JJ inside, I'm sure, and get him moving around and probably get him the ball in a multitude of ways. Like, we're not breaking any news here. Like, he's the best player in the country, a lot of people say. So you want to get him the ball in different areas. But I think on some third downs, when they're worrying about bracketing outside to Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, I think, is going to eat underneath. You got Max Clare that's going to be able to get vertical push and be able to clear safeties, take linebackers. You have Brandon Ennis that's going to be able to work the middle. And he's a guy that embodies all of that as well. And a dude that was named captain before he was ever started a game, which is a huge, huge rarity. All right, we got some more great stuff coming up. Stay locked in here. Stay tuned in. We're going to start breaking down Texas a little bit more and taking a look at some of their position by position groups. One of the matchups I really love is UT Texas's front seven, like their box players versus Ohio State's offensive line. And we'll take a look at that and what that really means here coming up next. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at Export. Attention parents and athletes. Protect what matters most with Export mouthguards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards, they're scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards, they feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, custom 3D printed to your unique smile for more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And I want to talk a little bit, as I mentioned, about this defensive line of Texas and this front they're going to be facing. And so Ohio State, we've talked about it. Left tackle, Austin Saraveld, very good player. Can be his first time at left tackle. And that's going to be a challenge. That's much harder than playing guard inside. So there's going to be some challenges with him. The thing I like about Austin Saraveld is he's a grinder and he's tough and he's really strong. And so if he can get hands on guys, he's going to be fine. And so he might need a little help from time to time, but he's athletic. He's not the tallest or longest guy you're going to find, but he has enough size to be able to get it done. But he moves really well, and he's a tough dude. Then you go to left guard. Luke Montgomery's there. He was able to start, play a ton throughout that playoff run last year as I don't know if he's a true sophomore, redshirt sophomore. I think that was his second season here at Ohio State. Played really well. Very athletic guy, and got vital experience against 4 really stinking good teams and good defensive lines. Carson Hinsman, who I think has a good shot at winning the Remington at center. He was on the show here with us. He's awesome. Home run dude. Tegra Shabola, who's grown and continued to get better and better. Healthy, looks good, leaner, stronger. And then at the right side, I don't know who's it going to be. Is it going to be Phillip Daniels, Ethan Onion? Well, I have a tendency to believe it's going to be Phillip Daniels just because he's got a little more dog in him, I think, right now. And he's a little bit further along. But those guys including Will Kazmarek, Max Clare, Jelani Thurman. Who else? We got Nate Roberts over there, and then we got Bennett Christian as well, or Schlegs calls him Christian Bennett. Maybe both of them will all be there, but those are the tight ends. Blend those in with some of the backs, and those are the guys going to be protecting. But this is what they're going to be going up against. Some really talented players. Texas, they've got up front, their Buck and Jack are pretty good. They've got Ethan Burke as their Buck or Jack player, one of their ends. The other one, Buck. Colin Simmons, who was a true freshman last year, who started, made a lot of plays. I mean, he wears number 1, for heaven's sake, on the defensive line. He's an athletic guy. They move him around, does a lot of stuff really well, and long, physically gifted guy. He's a guy that you look at like aspirationally. This isn't a knock on CJ Hicks. Like, that's what you want CJ Hicks to be. Not the biggest dude in the world, a little bit undersized, but physical dude, athletic, can bend, turn an edge. He's the guy you need to circle. All right. Cody Simmons, circle him up. He's the dude out there. Now he's a sophomore, more of a leader. They're going to even probably lean on him a little more. The place where Texas struggled last year, not struggled, but the place where they were struggling this year, they needed some help. And they went to the portal to get it. One of the guys they brought in was Hero Kanu, the German defensive tackle for Ohio State, who played a lot last year and probably would be a starting D tackle at Ohio State this year. He was taken care of really well to go to Texas. And I don't blame him for going. If someone's going to do that for you, okay, buddy, go ahead. It's life-changing. Go get after it. But the two guys they kind of penciled in as starting is Cole Brevard, who played at Purdue, played most recently at Penn State, beefy dude, almost 350 pounds inside. So you're going to have to find a way to move him. And then also Murad Watson, who is a Jersey kid, went to Syracuse, not quite as big, 6'3" as well, about 327. So you got a lot of beef in there inside. And so this is going to be the guard, center guard task, the Montgomery, Hinsman, Shabola task of finding a way to move these guys out of here and finding a way to create running lanes and to not get the pocket pressed on you into Julian saying. You're going to be dealing with Cody Simmons on the edge, and he's going to be bouncing around, moving around a lot. He's really good. Anthony Hill Jr., their number 0 linebacker, pretty good player as well. In his own right, he can bring some heat and he can get it going. But they're very talented, as we know. He had 8 sacks last year too. And so him and Cody Simmons, they'll move them around, twist games, all kinds of stuff. And so that's going to be on them on the offensive line, but the backs as well to sort that out and to make sure that they're always getting a hat on a hat and they're not getting beat. And so you lean into James Peoples, CJ Donaldson. Could there be some hesitancy? Bo Jackson, very talented, but buddy, you got to be able to pick up the rush. You got to be able to identify the rushers and know exactly what's going on. So that's a huge deal that they're going to have to look at to make certain when Texas gets aggressive. And then probably the other piece of this, if you can get some movement up front, and I love our guard, center guard situation. If you can get some movement up there on those big beasts and be able to start running the football, that's going to help you out. Then they'll probably have to start pinching down, being more aggressive coming up. That'll open up stuff on the passing game. But also what it does, if you can stay out of those 3rd and longs, they can't be as aggressive. Texas can't be as aggressive up front, and they like to run a lot of movement. Go back and watch the game last year. I mean, they got some dudes. They've got some athletes. Granted, they lost their guys inside. Colin Simmons, number 1, he's back. Anthony Hill Jr., number 0, he's back. Like, they've got some guys up there that'll give you problems. Michael Taffy, the redshirt senior, he's back. All-American player. Thorpe preseason Thorpe Award guy. Like, they're back. Now, they're a little lighter on the outside, and we'll get into some of that tomorrow, and they're a little bit younger out there. But on that interior, that offensive line, that front, and then also when you start talking, obviously, about Anthony Hill, they're very, very good. And so that is a little matchup within the matchup to be able to watch for Ohio State as you're battling this. And if Ohio State can get that run game going, you see Julian saying have enough time. Well, if that's the case, I think Ohio State's going to be winning that battle and probably winning the game. But it's going to come down to that. And not that they're not going to make plays, but they can't be living in the backfield. I believe they were the first team that sacked Will Howard last year during that playoff run. So they'll be aggressive, and they'll get after it when they need to. All right, going to take a quick break here. I think Schlegs has finally escaped wherever the heck he was.
I was, man. I was
There he is.
escaped Alcatraz. No, it's called meetings. And I apologize. I
It's
couldn't
fine. You're good.
get
Schlegs,
out of
you
it.
changed some
We
stuff
both-
up. It's
You know
all
what?
good.
And Bob, I'm gonna say this, man. Great points. And immediately when you said Colin Simmons, I started thinking about. Remember back in our day, that Viper position.
Yeah.
They're a roamer. You don't know really where you're going to come from. But that's also, guys, the end game. Who is the mic? How are they setting the mic? Where are they thinking the protection is? And Bob, you brought up a great point and I want to see, this is something that everybody needs to watch in this game. Last year, we were so blessed to have two of the best pass blocking running backs in the country. I am interested to see, because they will have to step up to be able to make those blocks for Julian Saint. I'm just telling you, it's something to watch in this coming off of last year into this year. And I saw a couple of those early on in camp where it's like, okay, it is a little bit different than last year. And then I've seen growth and maturity, and that's what you want by being able to anchor down, square up, meet them closer to the hole before they got a running start into you to push you back. Subtle nuances that they learn while doing it full speed, but something to watch in this game.
It is. We'll get to more of that. We'll talk a little more. And we got a little pregame teaser from our guy, Tim Walton, to get you juiced up here on this Thirsty Thursday as we head in. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you about our friends Schlegs over at Backer. That's bckr.com. Go check them out. Premium Buckeye gear for premium Buckeye fans. The wind, the rain, the cold, they've got you all covered there with their different apparel. It looks good. It feels even better than it looks. They've got great hats too. Go check it out. That's bckr.com. A portion of the proceeds goes back to Ohio State and their student athletes with NIL. Use promo code all caps BOBBY at checkout for free expedited shipping. You're going to love the way you look in there. You're going to love the way it feels. So go to bckr.com. Check them out today. We got headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show, Schlegs, and we got our headlines brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur Marketing. They're a full-service marketing agency built on trust, strategy, performance, from their digital ad placement to their broadcast buys to creative and everything in between. They got you covered. They can do it all. They're a one-stop shop at Lake Spur Marketing. There isn't some set it and forget it strategy where they just, here it is, roll it out, we'll see you in a couple months. No, all their tactics, they're customized to your needs. They work with you to get the best results. Leave your marketing to them so you do what you do best, which is run your business. They'll help you grow it. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today. All right, let's get Walt in his little pregame sampler pack because I need a little bit of juice. I'm running low after.
Come on.
Here you go.
Give us some. What's the word? Give me right, bro. Give me right. Give me some
Pregame Friday. The pre-sample. The pre-sample.
Give me some wisdom.
The more money you take, the more plays you gotta make. That's how you want it to be. Now you live it. More accountability comes with the more you give it. The rules are simple. Here's the instruction. You will be evaluated on execution and production. The standard is the standard. We developing discipline and skill. 12 o'clock next Saturday, this shit get real.
Ready. Pre-ready. The pre-ready. Friday.
The more money you take, the more plays you better make, Schlegs.
Oh my gosh, he just dropped so many nuggets. I'm gonna have to go back and replay that. And it is real. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's happening. College football is here. Got a lot of games tonight. But I will say this for those guys and people have been putting in the chat, and you're right. I'm excited to watch Matt Patricia go out there and coach his face off. I'm excited to watch what this new defense looks like. I'm excited. The thing is, we have questions like I just brought in the segment before this. I am excited to watch how our running backs block and what that looks like. You were talking about our interior guard game. I'm excited about that. There's something that Tyler put in there that we're going to answer in the tailgate talk, which I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see our counters. I'm excited to be in the shoe with all of you guys cheering on the Buckeyes, right? Cheering on those guys. And it's their experience. And I love Walt. That's exactly what he does. Those guys need it. And that's part of what he does. He develops them every day and gives them those nuggets because you never know we're going to stick that helps that kid go to have another great day on Friday, because you do. You got to have a great day on Friday too.
Absolutely. All right. That's it for our headlines. Coming up next, we got a bunch of your questions to answer, Schlegs. Someone threw even a $20 question at us. So,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know. Time to answer.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it means pay $20 to make you holler. You get paid for Tailgate Talk. Coming up next here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, Schlegs, here we go. Our Tailgate Talk is brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck. Bring your truck to life at realtruck.com. All right, Pat, throw that question up. That'll be the first one. Question for the show: which is more surprising, Portnoy being mad at the great state of Ohio because he can't ride any of the big kid rides at Cedar Point, or Travis Kelce finally gets a ring with the help of a ring without the help of the refs?
Well, I got to blow this up because all my computer guys, as I'm looking at your chat. Throw that back up there, Pat. Throw that question. What would be?
Which is more surprising?
Which is more surprising? I would say.
How short is Portnoy, by the way? I mean, he's super short. I don't know.
I don't know. And I tell you what, Cedar Point had this one thing I think I saw where it goes out and it teeters down. And yeah, I'd probably be super upset if I couldn't ride that sweet ride. I don't know about that. My wife's 5'10". We'll have to see. We'll have to see him at a game. And again, I love the Phantom. I love all this stuff. And that was a really dangerous question because there is no doubt that the refs help. But I will say this. He's won a lot of rings on his own accord. Yeah. The guy's a phenomenal. First off, here's the thing. I would never hate on Travis Kelce or the Kelce brothers because they're Ohioans. They're played here in this state. And just so you guys know, man, anytime you win a Super Bowl, anytime you win a national championship, regardless of it, it always is more than one dude or the refs, right? There's a lot of things that go into that. So the first one, to answer your question, the first one.
Schlegs, the other one, Tyler put this in here. Do you know what would be fantastic? Texas wants to rush the passer so badly in this game. Why don't we just run 14 personnel until they stop it?
Oh, my gosh. Go ahead, Bob.
It's not they've done that before. They've run some 13. I don't know if you'd ever want to take Jeremiah off the field for extended periods of time. 13 is probably as difficult as 14 for them to handle, which that means one back, 4 tight ends, no wide receivers. There may be some of that in the bag. I'm not telling you anything proprietary, but they ran 14 last year against Notre Dame, so it wouldn't shock me if they have some of that in the bag here for Texas.
I mean, guys, they could do whatever they want. They could do 20. The thing is this, and this is the interesting thing. I want you guys to get to Terry's one too, but it's what do they do and how do you want to test their mettle? And if you want to run the football and you want to establish that dominance, if you want to slow the clock down, all these things go into it. But I'm telling you this right now, Max Clare is going to be a difference maker, and that tight end room and the depth and the physicality of that room is really stinking good. I mean, it might be the deepest, strongest room in the country at that position. Max Clare is a difference maker. Not only to mention our perimeter guys, but that quick pass to that type of tight end on a backer, get ready. I'm excited to see it. Get to Terry's real quick.
All right, and then Terry's here, Terry Slusher. What do the next 2 days consist of for our players? They got Thursdays where they break down, go over everything one more time. Anything you had to clean up from the last 2 days, special situations, dive into that. You got team meal, or not team meal, but you have your dinner afterwards. Usually get them out of there a little earlier. And then Schlegs, you got Best Fridays where you come in, you're taking care of your body, you're having some walkthroughs, you go to the golf course, you have team meetings, you go to bed, at the hotel, you wake up, and so it'll be early Saturday morning wake up. It's crazy to think that it's this close now.
Yeah.
Then you're ready to rock.
Hey, and that's the thing too, guys. Like, it's Thursday. It is a fast tempo, fast paced, low volume, high execution type day. Like, you've already gone
Don't screw anything up.
No, it's like, but you got to go fast. Like, they want to see that. They want to see the communication. They're going fast. You're not on the field for a long period of time, right? It's go fast. Make sure we handle our business. The crazy thing is, Bob, is like you and I, we were in like shells and stuff the entire time. You know, times have changed a little bit, but the execution is what they want on this day. And also that Best Fridays, guys, it is sharp. It's lock in. It's work the game, relax. It's work the game. It's relax. And why do they prepare them that way? Because that's the emotion that you have before a game. You wake up, you're excited, you're anticipated. Boom, relax with your teammates. Then I raise up and I go through my warm-ups. Then I got to bring it back down. Then I got to go play the game. You have to train that. That is something that you train. That's the routine.
And that is it for Tailgate Talk. Coming up next, parting thoughts of Anthony Schlegel. All right, Schlegs. Got about a minute and change.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Do you remember that, Pat? Can you get it from our chat? It's the video. So this side nugget guy. Hey, have you been to Tommy's Diner, Bob?
Yeah, Schlegs. What am I not?
I've never been there. I've never been there.
Well, you know what? I checked that. I've been there I've only been there a couple times, but we would get Tommy's Pizza a lot.
Oh, this is different. This is the diner. I don't know if they're the same. I don't know if they're affiliated. Met their owner, Michael, the other day. Great service, great food. It was awesome. I'm going back. I want you to show this little really clip. So this was at the middle school. Coach Tom brought in Chris Chetholm. He's a sergeant with the City of Columbus Police, part of the mental health crisis team and CPD, Columbus Police Department. But he also coaches like youth football. And Tom and him have had a relationship. And we were just talking about why we love to play the game of football and also the importance of first impressions. And literally this is him going through and just making sure that dudes know how to shake a hand, how to address somebody in their eyes, how you do that appropriately.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, man. That's the development of youth, in my honest opinion. I'm going out there, I'm talking shin angles, I'm talking violent hands. But you know what's going to carry more weight is them being able to understand how to look an adult in the eye, shake their hand. My name's Anthony Schlegel. Nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Okay. Awesome stuff. Good job, Coach Tom.
Awesome. Stay locked in tomorrow. Colt McCoy joining us. See you at 11 here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.